Hey everybody, how are you? Doing good. Just want to talk about showing up. Okay, so showing up is showing up when you're working on manifesting things in your life, things that you want, and you're sifting and sorting through contrast, which is talked about by Abraham Hicks. Contrast helps you to make choices of what it is that you want. And it doesn't necessarily mean that when it shows up and you show up and it's present, that you don't get to change your mind if you really don't like it. So it's the process of creating, right? So you manifest something, I want this, you ask for it, but the only way for you to get it is if you show up. So yeah, it's important to show up. When it shows up, you can still say yes or no. I don't want it. Okay, that's not what I thought it was, right? So we're not deemed to have it just because it shows up, and then we're like, nah, I don't want that, right? So we can make that choice. We always have choice, and that's always our power, right? Free will. So going back to showing up, it's important to show up when you're putting things out there, manifesting things that you want. So it helps you with contrasts, right? So understanding what showing up means is listening and seeing the things that are showing up around you. So if you're trying to manifest something, we're in a state of nothing's happening, I'm not receiving, I don't know what to do, struggling. It's because we're not seeing correctly, we're not observing correctly, we're not listening correctly, we're not allowing what we want to show up because it's like right in front of us, we just don't see it, right? So being able to work on that process of showing up is going to be important. So let me give you an example. A lot of times Spirit will say to me, go for a walk, right? And I have a choice. I can either sit or continue doing what I'm doing, or I can stop doing what I'm doing and go for that walk and allow Spirit to guide me to where I need to go or what I need to do. And there is going to be where it is in the end point where it's going to show up. Okay? So I can give you an example. I was sitting here writing the one night and Spirit said, go for a walk. So I said, okay. I've thought about sitting there and just continuing to write because I was in a mode of writing. And so when I do inspired writing, I am open, and I think that's part of the reason why that was able to come in, is like when you're in an allowing space, that those messages and things can come in. So when that happens, you have a choice. You can either go for the walk, you can sit and just continue doing what you're doing. If you don't go for the walk, you're missing out on what possibly that you put out there when you manifested it, right? So when you ask for it, because that's basically what manifesting is asking through the process of contrast. And so I went on my walk. I didn't know what direction I was going to go. I just kind of let Source lead me. Okay, which direction? And I would turn right. That's why I turned right. And so then I got turned left, and so I kind of went on a little walk, and then by the time I got to where I was going, I was on a dock out by the water, and the moonlight was coming through, and there was like a herd of the manatees that we have here in Florida, and it was so beautiful. Okay, and then shortly after that, I was standing like right halfway into the middle of the dock area, so I wasn't all the way at the end or the beginning. And there was nobody else around, and this person just walks up and stands right next to me, and we just started engaging in a conversation. So what I was working on and manifesting and needed to process and work through, somebody became present. And that's just how it happens, okay? So when you're asking for certain situations, even if it's somebody to come in and give you a message, or anybody to come in and give you direction, or it's just something that you're asking for, money, a new job, you have to be open to receive the messages, be in a state of allowing, and that's what it's about. So I do get a lot of those, and so I do make the choice to go ahead and show up, right? I go on those walks. I do the things that Spirit's showing me or telling me. I went on a artist date, and one of them was I really wasn't planning on going there, and I was just directed to this little store, which actually led me inside the store, okay? And I found something that I was actually putting out there in the universe. And granted, it was something small, but it was unique to the item that I was manifesting, because I thought it was like, that would be cool to have as I'm traveling when I go to the UK, that area. And so it manifested, and it actually had the picture of London on it. So that was an awesome manifestation, and it showed up, and I listened and I did it, and I just went and I said yes, allow, right? So that is a good example of manifesting and allowing and showing up. Okay, just follow the lead, follow the breadcrumbs, the signs, and show up. It's not that what you're asking for or manifesting isn't there ever going to come, but when we don't see the signs, hear what we're being told by our inner source, not outside of us, our inner source, then, well, I want to correct that, because sometimes people do come in with messages. We just have to look for the signs, and we have to just be open to what's going on. And then just follow that, right? So, hope you show up to all your manifestations. Happy journeys.